All right. Well, last week I made a video talking about Trevor Lawrence and how I thought a good amount of his issues were overblown. I thought that they kind of took the ball out of his hands in the second half. I didn't really blame that loss on him. Made a whole video about it. And then he goes out, and the Jaguars have really just an abysmal offensive performance, so gotta talk about it again. This time, I think this was a worse game from Lawrence. I think there were some real mistakes he made, and some that he even got away with. I also think there were some good plays, and there were some examples of the offense letting him down in this one as well. So let's get into it, and let's talk about, where are we at with Lawrence at this point, starting off with the play you see on your screen. It's going to be a pretty simple play. It's a one-on-one matchup deep down the field, single safety deep, so for Lawrence on this one. You see him take the snap. He is going to fire down the field, and this is going to be Gabe Davis, who, quite frankly, Gabe Davis and Lawrence did not have a great chemistry in this one. You see there isn't a ton of separation right here, and also this throw is just too far. We can't see the whole play here. I wasn't sure if Davis maybe got slowed down a little bit during this route. It looked like he did a little bit, but either way, chemistry is how these plays work, right? And I think that by the time Lawrence was throwing it, had he had more chemistry with Davis, he would have known where to put it in an area where they could perhaps be able to, make some plays, make this play work, or at least have a chance at making this play work. It was great defense by Cleveland, but still, this is not good offense. There was also this one where you see Davis cuts later than Lawrence, or actually earlier than Lawrence was expecting, and then this one where this is not Davis, this is Brian Thomas Jr., but Brian Thomas Jr. not turned around. This nearly led to an interception. Again, are these Lawrence's fault? Are these the receiver's fault? It's happening enough that it's everyone's fault, right? They got to clean this stuff up because you're not going to be able to win too many games at the NFL level if you keep making these kind of mistakes. This sequence, to me, completely sums up the Jaguars so far in 2024, where what's going to happen is it's a 3rd down and 7, cover 2 man, and this is going to be a great play from Trevor Lawrence. Watch as he takes the snap, he looks down the field, nothing is really open, he could fire it underneath, but that feels like a tackle is going to be made before the first down. What does Lawrence do? Well, it's man coverage, and it's cover 2 man, so you have the 4 defensive linemen who are looking at him, but other than that, 5 guys are covering the guy they're supposed to cover, and then the next 2 closest guys are safeties who are deep. So watch Lawrence use his athleticism, gets outside the pocket, and you're going to see that as of right here, you're looking like, okay, maybe he has a chance at a touchdown. In fact, if you look at, it's once again Gabe Davis. Davis is going to blow a block late there. If he did not, that's a touchdown. But they get inside the 5-yard line, whatever. You almost got it into the end zone. Really good play by Trevor Lawrence. They were down 10, but now about to make it 10-7, and now we have a game again. Well, let's talk about what happens once they get inside the 5. So first things first, it's, first down and goal at the 2-yard line. I'm going to pause it right here just to set everything up. What do you want to do in this situation? Well, for Doug Peterson, he decides to just hand the ball off. You're able to, you didn't go very well. Well, I get the logic behind it. Okay, you lost a couple yards. No worries. Now you have 2nd down and goal. So for the Browns, they can be a little bit more defending the pass on a play like this, especially when the Jaguars line up in 5 wides, so no halfback in the backfield. Lawrence is an athletic guy. You still have to be a little bit aware of him, but for the most part, you feel okay about this probably being a passing play. Lawrence takes the snap, and he's going to look towards the bottom of the screen, and I'll be honest, he could make this throw. Brian Thomas Jr., I'm not going to sit here and say is wide open on this rub route right here, but I kind of think I would have liked to see him just throw this one. There is a little bit of, there's defensive linemen in the throwing angle. That might be part of an issue as well. But I'll be honest, I would have liked to see Lawrence make this throw. Lawrence decides not to and instead scrambles out. And at this point, he's not going to have room to run. The player covering the middle of the field for Cleveland, the linebacker, definitely was, he just saw that big Lawrence run, right? He's not going to let that happen again. As you see, he rushes in. Lawrence just kind of throws the ball away. So, okay, then you have the next play, except that you actually don't. They have a flag. Lawrence throws the ball in frustration. So now we have to go back here. They actually called a timeout right before the flag. Got away with one. But we now have a 3rd down and goal. What do you do here? Well, you see, Lawrence looks towards his right, nothing's open there, looks back towards his left, and him and Gabe Davis, not on the same page, missed a perfect opportunity for a touchdown. What in the world is going on with Lawrence and Gabe Davis? I don't know what those guys are doing. They need to be practicing like every minute they can this week, because what a mess that was this game. Even this play, it was almost an interception due to them. I don't know if this is a chemistry thing or what on this one, but it's a zone coverage play. You see the route Gabe Davis is running. Again, over the middle route, definitely can work. But when Lawrence takes the snap, runs the play action, and looks in that direction, he's going to fire it. And I mean, the Browns player is in front of Davis right here. To me, this is just good defense and a throw Lawrence shouldn't have made. This isn't really chemistry, but it's like, my goodness, the expected value when Lawrence is targeting Davis, it's not hitting. This one nearly gets intercepted. Hey, Gabe Davis did a good job of defense there. At least he's doing a good job at knocking away the potential interceptions, but that's usually not a great thing when that's your biggest highlight in the game. Davis did have a few catches. He did have some plays. But again, I'm not blaming Gabe Davis. I'm just saying for whatever reason, these two guys together, it's just not working right now. Going over here, what drives you crazy about Lawrence is he will make these unbelievable plays. I mean, something like this, again, they're in a tough spot at this point, down 16-3. You see the route on the screen to Brenton Strange, a route that can work against his coverage. Lawrence takes the snap. He is going to look in that direction and fires in that direction. And right here, is there a window? I mean, this is one where you have to fit it through a mailbox, right? There is not a huge window right here. But watch this throw. I mean, an absolute thing of beauty. I mean, you can still see why this guy was drafted first overall. There's a small handful of guys who are capable of making these throws, and when you see him make a throw like this, you're wondering, how does he ever not succeed in the NFL? This one, another one, where this one time it's going to be Brian Thomas Jr. He had 2 catches for 94 yards, so this one probably has to go for a good amount of yards. It's a deep shot, and usually this type of route is just designed to get the safety further deep. Lawrence takes the snap, he looks in that direction, and is going to fire down the field, and you see right here, I mean, there is a safety deep. He did push that safety deep, but Lawrence is kind of saying, you know what? We've struggled so much offensively today. Let's just go for a big play. He's kind of just throwing up a jump ball right here. But this is a good throw and really a great play by Brian Thomas Jr. to be able to make that catch, and he gets nearly into the end zone, not quite able to get all the way in, but they would ultimately get in right after. So they were able to score a touchdown, make it a game, make it 16-3, and all of a sudden, despite these struggles, well, maybe you have a chance. And that brought up this play where it was set the stage. This is late in the fourth quarter now, minute 48. Jaguars have 2 timeouts at their own 2-yard line, but just need 3 to tie the game. You have a chance here, right? And I think that, this is one of those situations where I compare it to what the Falcons did this past week. They had an awful first 58 minutes of the game, but then were able to get a nice drive go at the end, and then no one remembers the fact that they struggled for a large part of it. Well, can Jacksonville do something similar? Well, Lawrence takes the snap, and I think you have to understand the situation you're in where you want to be getting rid of this football quickly right here. And for Lawrence, he tries to scramble out, it doesn't work, and he gets sacked. That's just a mistake you can't make, and that more or less cost them the game. They did get another chance late, but that was even more difficult than this one was, so weren't able to ultimately get anything going. So, yeah, not a great situation here. So as a whole, what do I feel about Trevor Lawrence right now? I mean, I think several things can be true. I think it would be insane to sit here and say, he's the reason the offense isn't working. There's a lot of reasons this offense isn't working. But I think it's also fair to say, he isn't playing particularly well right now. I agree that I think there's probably only 4 or 5 quarterbacks in the NFL who could succeed in a situation that Lawrence is in right now, but at the same time, he's getting paid like one of the quarterbacks who can succeed in any situation, and he's not being able to be successful right now. So I do think Lawrence could be better if you just get him in a better situation, and as he plays teams that aren't the Browns, perhaps this could work out better, although they got the Bills on Monday night, so that's not a great start. And then the Texans right after, too. So a couple tough start to the year for the Jaguars. But still, while I do think he could get better and it could look better, I certainly don't think he's the problem. At a certain point, you have to start being the solution and at least start cutting down on these types of mistakes, because the Jaguars do have a good defense and they can win games with defense. You got to cut down on these mistakes. That's what I think. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from y'all. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.